G'day everyone.
Hi, Pete.
Hi,
Welcome to your balance practice. I'm Dee, this is Pete. We've got an hour of bliss together. We're going to start in waterfall today. And keep your balls handy as well. So if you've got some myofascial release balls, make sure they're in arm's reach, hands reach for you. And waterfall is just support your hips with a prop. So you might want to stack a couple of pillows or a rolled up blanket underneath your hips. Make sure the full weight of your hips is being supported. And then slowly float your legs to the sky. And just lay there for a moment. You might need to readjust the prop that you're using underneath your hips just to get it in the right spot for support. And then once you feel like you've got the right place, then you can start to sink and settle in. Start this practice by reading you some words from a great Scottish explorer, W.H. Murray. And he's discussing here his expedition to Mount Everest. And he's talking about the shift between making a decision and then acting on it. And the energetic shift that happens right there. The shift between making a decision and then acting on it. He says, until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there is one elementary truth, the ignorance of which kills countless plans and splendid ideas. That the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help one that would never otherwise have occurred. A whole stream of events ensues from the decision, raising in one's favour all manner of unforeseen incidents and meetings and material assistance which no man could have dreamed would come his way. I have learned, he said, a deep respect for one of Goethe's concepts. Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Let me repeat that. Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. It's not just about having these grand dreams, these grand ideas. The moment you commit to it, the moment you decide to act, is the moment that the entire universe shifts and starts to play with you and for you. But you have to make that decision. We can't just sit on a fence. We can't just live our lives in this sort of half-assed way. We've got to leap. Leap into action. So for our practice today, ponder that concept. We can have all the grand intentions. And they say, you know, the road to hell is paved with good intentions, right? But it's not until we really fully commit ourselves into action that the universe starts to support us. Now you can stay here just as is in your waterfall, or you can bring the balls in. So you'll choose your tennis balls or your cross balls. If you've got spiky balls, they're a bit intense in this one, but go for it. On your shoulders, so right at the top of your shoulders, your big trap muscles. Again, this might take a couple of goes for you to sort of find the right spot. And then once you do find that spot, you can either just kind of stay still in your waterfall, let the balls and gravity do the work, or you can move your legs side to side, forward and back, up and down, and that'll massage the balls into those tissues, your big trap muscles. Just do whatever's appropriate for you, but take the action. You know, it's all well and good for us to say, oh, you know, I'm going to get to that. Oh, I've got tight shoulders, I'll massage them out later. You've got to take action. And once you start, that's when everything else starts to fall into place. As long as you hesitate, there's ineffectiveness. This great path of yoga is very much a path of self-discovery that absolutely requires a lot of self-inquiry, constant actually self-inquiry. Ask yourself where in your life you're sitting on the fence. Where are you not leaping or taking the leap? Where can you? Got 5 more breaths. And slowly, if you took the balls, move them out from underneath and just let your knees fall into your chest. You can pop the balls off to the side just so we can be free to set up the next pose, which is supported fish. So you can place your feet flat to the floor, lift your hips up just to slide the bolster out from underneath your hips, and then help yourself up to a seated position. Bring the bolster around behind you, and now it's going to support your rib cage. If you need to bring a prop in to support your head, if your neck doesn't allow for that extension, then go for it. Arms above the bolster and out wide. And again, keep your balls handy. You can bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees fall out wide here. And just allow yourself in this supported fish variation first. We'll bring the balls in later. As Murray was saying, once you commit, once you take the leap, once you jump all in, things just start to happen. Things that you would never have imagined. You start to learn things, and people come out of the woodwork to support you and help you, and it's amazing just how much support the universe gives us when we open ourselves to it. But if we sit on the fence and not take the leap, then we won't receive that support. We won't even notice the things around us happening until we jump all in. When you fully commit yourself to something, to anything, it doesn't matter what the outcome is. You have this level of fulfillment because you gave it your all. And you know wholeheartedly that you couldn't have given any more. That's fulfilling, regardless of outcomes. Now again, you can choose just to stay as you are, or with the balls, one underneath each hip. Again, where you place it will depend on your bones and your tissues and as to where they need to go. But you're going to keep your hips, knees wide, soles of feet together. So you might need to lift your knees to lift your hips, then bring the balls in, then place the hips down, and then let the knees fall open. Just kind of see where they land. Then you might need to adjust one or both as is appropriate for your body. We've got 5 more breaths. If you chose to bring the balls in underneath your hips, then you probably want to move them out of the way first. Then engage your core, use your elbows, lift yourself up to a seated position. We're going to come into a supported child's pose from here. Again, keep the ball, one of the balls handy, just within reach, so it's an easy transition. You're going to come onto your knees, big toes together, back of the mat, knees out wide. Use your bolster to lie your chest on, bringing the bolster in between your legs. If you need any more props, you might like to prop the bolster up with a block or a folded up blanket. If you need it a bit higher, then just lie down. Arms can come out in front long, they can come down by your sides. You can even hug the bolster, bring them in underneath. Pick a cheek, close your eyes. The teachers, gurus of yoga, past and present, all teach us that there's a higher intelligence at play, and we are part of it. This universal consciousness that is this universal wisdom. And I've been talking about it this week, that you just need to look in, to a forest, in nature. Just see how things seem to work perfectly with each other. Because there's an intelligence, and we can't see it. The intelligence isn't coming from our intellect. The intelligence is coming from something much deeper, much more subtle. So subtle, in fact, that us humans can't know it with our minds, with our intellectual minds. And it's that intelligence that, when you fully commit to something, that's the intelligence that's at play, that steps in and starts to open doors. But we have to step first, we have to leap first, because we create an energy field. It's called the unified field of concentrated energy. And we concentrate our energy, our efforts, and then we create this energy around us that inspires everything around us to play with us and for us. And that's when, as Murray was saying, things just happen. You attain things, decisions are made easily, things kind of fall into place. You could say, just kind of fall into your lap. But it's by making the decision that happens, and then taking the action, the first big leap. First step's the hardest. Take the leap, the rest will happen for us. So we're going to do a face massage with our ball. So grab the ball, just one. I'm going to start with the big brow muscle at your forehead. Use your bolster, just place the ball on the bolster, and then your forehead on the ball. And you're just going to explore just the top of your head at the moment, top of your face, all across the forehead. Again, you might need to adjust the ball. It's going from side to side. You can go right at third eye center in between the eyebrows. You can hold at any point as well. Just allow the ball to release tension. There's so many muscles in the face that create all our facial expressions, and they can actually be quite tender, quite tight. So just explore all around the forehead, down the side of the temples even. You can start to explore even a little bit more the cheeks into your jaw. TMJ, you can massage out the big muscle, especially if you're a clencher. It's going to be quite tight. You get tension headaches around your temples, you can massage them out. Just be gentle, support your head with your neck muscles. You can go down to your chin. You've got another 2 minutes just to massage out your face. Got 5 more breaths. As always, if you need a bit more time, if you found some really sweet spots and need a bit more time to massage them out, then feel free to take it. You can pause the feed while you do that. Pop the ball off to the side. We're going to do a belly release. So if you've eaten in the last hour and a half, 2 hours, then use your bolster. Bring it on the knife edge side, right in the belly. If you haven't eaten, then pop the bolster off to the side, grab a block for the hardness of it, I guess. It's going to release your belly out even more. Make sure you're not on any bone, no hip bone, no rib bone. You want the block to be right in the tissues of the belly. Support yourself on your elbows. It's going to take a good minute and a half for you to be able to relax into it. You might not even relax fully into it. Just depends how much tension you're holding there. And collectively on the planet, we're actually holding quite a bit of tension, all of us at the moment. There's a lot of frustration and anger and whatnot in the world at the moment. So, you know, collectively we actually feed off each other's energy. That's the unified field of concentrated energy. So we just be aware of that. We're aware of that as spiritual practitioners. So I know that there's a lot of tension in the world, so I know my body's going to hold some of that tension. And that's why this practice is so beautiful, so beneficial, because we get to release some of that tension that's not ours. If you're able to drop your chest and head on the floor, then you can do that. You can cross your forearms and rest your forehead on your forearms, or just depending on where you're at. key is to relax the belly and all the tissues and organs and layers. It's not easy. It takes your full commitment. But once you jump in, once you leap in, the rest will follow. That is a guarantee. If you hold on, if you hold back, then you won't reap the rewards. Three breaths. Again, feel free to stay longer. Very slowly peel yourself off. Onto your belly. Lie down, and again, make sure you've got a ball handy. But just for now, just lie down, let the belly relax, let the blood flow freely. If you want to, we're going to take a pec stretch. So if you want to, you can bring your bolster over onto your right hand side, down towards your lower leg. You don't have to, you don't need to have the bolster, but you're going to bring your right arm out to a cactus. So elbow in line with your shoulder, wrist in line with your elbow. Left hand pushes against the floor to come into the rotation that is our pec stretch. Just hold it here first. Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. But you got to begin it. Otherwise, it's just a concept. Now, from here, I'm going to give you the option to bring the ball in. So again, you can just stay in your shoulder stretch. Otherwise, bring the ball in underneath your right shoulder, or you can bring the, if you're on your left side, I did call right. If you're on your left side, then do your left side. Or put the ball in on your belly. So you kind of roll out of it, place the ball off to the side that you're doing, that you're stretching on the belly, and then roll back into it. Just make sure that you've got the ball right on the pressure point on the side body, just below the ribs. So make sure you're not on any bony ribs or bony hips. It's right in the side of the body there. Some people will feel a lot, other people won't feel a great deal, but give it time. Relax. Until one is committed, there is hesitancy. The chance to draw back, always an effectiveness. Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there is one elementary truth, the ignorance of which kills countless plans and splendid ideas. That the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help one that would never otherwise have occurred. A whole stream of events ensues from the decision, raising in one's favour all manner of unforeseen incidents and meetings and material assistance, which no man could have dreamed would come his way. I have learned, he says, a great, deep respect for one of Goethe's comments or concepts. Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Slowly roll yourself out. Back to centre, lie in centre for a moment. You can hopefully just leave the ball where it is. It'll be out of the way. Then set yourself up for the other side. So cactus arm, if you utilised your bolster, swap the bolster over. Make sure your wrist and elbow are in line. Elbow's 90-degree bend. Elbow and shoulder in line. And then the opposite hand pushes the floor away. So then you bring the spine into the rotation. Don't bring the ball into it just yet. Just allow the stretch through the shoulder first, the rotation through the spine. Now only again if you did the first side, match it this side. So if you place the ball under the shoulder, then you'll need to roll out of it, bring the ball under the shoulder, it will intensify quite significantly. The other option, if you chose it, is the belly, the side belly. A lot of fascial connections, especially into organs. So find that spot and then relax into it. Last 5 breaths. Unravel yourself, just lay flat on your belly again. Very slowly, we're going to make our way back onto our backs in a supported bridge. So keep your balls handy, as we have been doing for the whole class. Bring your bolster back in, it's going to support your hips. Now, depending on your back, depending on your hip flexors at the front of your hips, it depends on where your legs go. So you can bend your legs up, feet flat, that's a version of supported bridge, or you can take the full hip flexor stretch, where you extend your legs out long, anywhere in between, being fully bent up and long. Just relax, breathe. That self-inquiry, question everything. Everything you do, everything you say, every relationship. That's what self-inquiry is all about. We question everything, not to create conflict, but to create clarity, to know where I'm committed and where I'm not, where I'm choosing to commit and where I'm choosing not to. There's no fulfillment in inaction. There's no fulfillment when we're not fully committed. And there's no support either, because there's no field of energy, unified field of energy that inspires everything around us to work with us and for us. When that's not around us, then we can't tap into it. It comes from making the decision, then acting, taking that grand leap of faith. Now up to you again, bringing the balls in if you choose to. I encourage you to take it into your mid-back now. Having said that, if you know your upper back, your traps where we went to before, needs some more attention, then give it. Otherwise, it's more in between sort of shoulder blades in your bridge, supported bridge. And again, just place the balls. Let time, gravity, weight and breath we're going to finish where we started in waterfall. So you can move the balls out from the mid-back. You might like to keep them there. Legs are just going to float to the sky, and again you can choose to bring the balls straight into your traps again, or you can choose not to have them at all. You might not have heard the story. Some of you, a lot of you have heard the story about Powerhouse, but Pete and I decided, we made the decision to open up a yoga studio, and then we acted on it the very next day, and that concentrated energy field around us was intense. So many things came out that we didn't even know that we had. So we don't have any family down here. Pete's family are in Sydney, my family are in Queensland, and so we're on our own down here, and all of a sudden, as soon as we made the decision and then acted on it, everyone came out of the woodwork. We had so many friends and acquaintances even put their hand up to help and offer us support that we didn't even know we had. And even though there was a lot of effort involved, obviously, it was also effortless. Everything happened just perfectly, and in a way that there's no way if I had have tried to control it and plan it, and and I'm very much a planner to the nth degree, very much in attention to detail. I couldn't have even planned it myself the way that it happened. It just happened. And it's because we concentrated our effort, we committed wholeheartedly, and everything around us just started to happen with us and for us. It was like a symphony. And it was completely out of our control. It was happening naturally and organically, as the law of the universe states, in perfect harmony. It didn't go without obstacles, of course. But everything happened the way that it was supposed to. You make the decision and then you act. You take the leap of faith. And then you watch, you witness. It's magical, powerful. It's freaking genius. This is going to take us into our final rest. So you can do anything you need to do for your final rest. You can bring in as many props. You can continue myofascial release. You can move everything off to the side and just lay flat. Wholeheartedly up to you. Make the decision, act on it. And then allow. Let me repeat Murray's words, powerful words to you, one last time. Until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there is one elementary truth, the ignorance of which kills countless plans and splendid ideas. That the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. Then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help one that would never otherwise have occurred. A whole stream of events ensues from the decision raising in one's favour all manner of unforeseen incidents and meetings and material assistance which no man could have dreamed would come his way. I have learned, he says, a deep respect for one of Goethe's concepts. Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. There's that old saying, don't just dream, do. And then let the universe unify its energy, its field of energy around you to support and make magic happen. Deepen your breath, bring some small movements into the body. And then help yourself up to a comfortable seated position to close the practice. You might like to roll over onto a side to help yourself up. Palms come together at heart center, Anjali Mudra. Eyes are closed, spine is long, breath is full. Take a deep breath in. Thumbs to third eye center, we bow. That unified field of energy exists within each of us and around each of us when we fully commit ourselves. I acknowledge that place in you. I respect that place in you. I honour that place in you. Together we are one. Together we say Namaste. Namaste. Have an epic rest of your day today. Fully committed. Thanks, Pete.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.